Right now, you are probably sitting down to watch this video, and staying seated for a few minutes to view it is perfectly fine. Taking a load off helps us recover from stress or recuperate after a hard workout. But our modern lifestyles require us to hit that natural pause button much more often than we move around. Look at the human body as an engineering blueprint built for fluid motion. Inside are over 360 joints and 700 skeletal muscles. Even biological processes depend on movement. Blood relies on moving to circulate properly, and skin is highly elastic, engineered to mold to motion. Every single inch of your anatomy is in a state of constant anticipation, ready and waiting for you to move. Spending most of our days entirely stationary is completely incompatible with our evolutionary hardware. When we ignore that hardware and stay seated for hours, the physical consequences begin, starting right at the spine. A common way to sit is with slumped shoulders and a curved back. That position applies intense, uneven pressure directly onto your spinal discs, causing wear and tear while overworking the attached ligaments. And that curved posture creates collateral damage. As the spine bends forward, it physically shrinks your chest cavity inward. With less space inside the chest, your lungs become physically trapped, unable to fully expand when you take a breath. That restriction temporarily limits the amount of oxygen that can fill your lungs and filter into your blood. By simply resting in a chair with poor posture, we are mechanically suffocating our own tissues. The damage extends outward from the skeleton to the delicate soft tissues wrapped around it, your nerves, arteries, and veins. The sheer physical weight of sitting crushes those soft tissues. In your lower limbs, this compression blocks nerve signaling and reduces blood flow, causing that familiar numbness and swelling. But the physical squashing also causes an invisible chemical chain reaction. In the walls of your blood capillaries, there's a special enzyme that requires movement to function. It's called lipoprotein lipase, and its job is to break down fats in the blood. Sitting for long periods deactivates this enzyme. The fat molecules simply float right past, unbroken, and begin to accumulate in your bloodstream. Prolonged sitting actively shuts down the body's metabolic fat-burning furnace. Most of the time, we sit down at a desk to focus on our work and use our brains. But the human brain demands constant, high levels of blood flow and oxygen to remain alert and process information. Because remaining stationary restricts your lungs and slows your circulation, your concentration levels will inevitably dip. Sitting down for deep cognitive work actively starves your brain of the exact fuel it needs to perform. Over time, these temporary symptoms accumulate into severe, long-term systemic failures. Extended periods of sitting are firmly linked to an increased risk of heart disease, diabetes, kidney problems, and certain types of cancers. This data visualization shows a grid representing the entire global population, and it reveals a staggering statistic. Worldwide, physical inactivity causes about 9% of all premature deaths every single year. That is over 5 million people. Sitting is a behavioral threat that actively degrades human health. Fortunately, the physical solutions are immediate. When you have no choice but to stay seated, actively switch out the slouch for a straighter spine to minimize structural damage. And when you aren't bound to your seat, set a timer to stand up and move around every 30 minutes to reset your body's machinery. In fact, since this video is almost over, why not stand up and stretch right now? Treat your body to a walk. It will thank you later.